Thank you to Passive for sponsoring today's video. It's one of the best tools available for putting your portfolio on autopilot. Check them out for completely free using my link in the description below. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here for the first time, my name is Brandon. As always, we do have our Investing Academy, which is that first link down below. But there was a comment that came in the other day from Arjun. Love the videos, man. I'd appreciate it if you could create a TSX master list with your best 50 Canadian stocks. Now, I love the idea. I love the suggestion, Arjun, and that's what we're going to be covering today. But as you can likely see from the title of this video, I honestly could not make it to 50 stocks. I know that sounds crazy, but you guys know that I tend to look actually, in many cases, outside of Canada for my investments. Don't get me wrong, there is a ton of great options here, but to come up with 50 stocks, I have to say that's actually a bit of a stretch. I obviously could have done it, but then I would have been kind of going away from stocks that I more or less follow, stocks that I'm more or less familiar with. So I thought, hey, I'll go with 22. That's what I came down with as I was compiling up this list. These are some stocks that hopefully can give you guys some great ideas for additions to your portfolio. At a minimum, throw them on the watch list. If you've been a subscriber of this channel, you're going to know a lot of these that we talk about. But if you are here for the first time, hopefully we can bring you a bunch of new ideas. Let's get on with the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to drop a big thumbs up. But let's start with company number one. Probably my go-to stock when it comes to the Canadian market is the company TD Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. This is my favorite Canadian stock, bank stock of them all. I'm a customer and an investor. TD is, of course, the second largest bank here in Canada, along with getting you some great exposure to the US. They do business in both areas. Today, we're looking at a PE of about 13.74. Very reasonable, in my humble opinion. In fact, you guys know I've been scooping up this stock after this drop quite heavily. This was one of my top buys. Actually, the first three stocks that we're covering in this list, I believe number one and number three were stocks that I have been buying over the past little while, but TD has absolutely been one of them. Today, we're looking at a 4.46% dividend, and the stock trades for $70, one of the most reliable companies that you'll come across in Canada. Number two, let me clarify, I have not been buying this stock. I don't own the stock, but it is very likely my second favorite stock that you'll come across in Canada. It's a company, CNR, Canadian National Railway, ticker CNR. This is, of course, Canada's largest railway company. This is a great way to play the industrial sector. This company, along with CP Rail, kind of go hand in hand. Fun fact for you to keep in the back of your pocket, CNR is actually one of the largest positions in Bill Gates' portfolio. If you look at the breakdown of his investments, his assets, he puts actually a pretty significant weight to this, I was going to say Canadian, but it's more or less a North American railway. They have tracks all over North America. The company does surprisingly well during recessions, as we covered in a video back on the channel if you do want to dig that up. But hey, this is overall such a quality company here in the Canadian market. 1.62% dividend, so nothing crazy, but the shares have been performing very well. Today, they trade for about $141 Canadian. On to number three, it is the company Brookfield Asset Management, ticker BAM. This company is a real estate play. They're actually a manager of all sorts of assets, but they own a lot of real estate across the world. As I said, I've been buying this stock since the COVID sell-off, and it has been awesome bit of a bounce back so far. Overall, as I say time and time again, quality business. They manage over $575 billion of assets. So a major company. I've done a million videos on them, but stock number three for our list, our power ranking list, Brookfield Asset Management. Today's shares trade at $53. They do pay a pretty small dividend. Number four is the company Power Corp. I feel like I'm the only one here on the internet that talks about them. This is a sneakily good dividend payer right here in Canada. Actually, Power Financial, they did a bit of a restructure. Power Financial used to be one of the companies that paid a very nice dividend. Now they all just trade under the Power Corp ticker POW, and that's why you see today we're looking at a 6.03% yield. This is a company giving you exposure to insurance side of things, investment side of things through Great-West Life. They also are the company that bought out Wealthsimple. I know we have so many Wealthsimple users on YouTube, and a lot of you guys supporting the channel use Wealthsimple. This is the company behind it. So hey, great position to be in. Not a stock for me. because it just lacks the growth. But if you're looking for yield, 6% dividend and amazing metrics, you can see the growth, whether you're looking at growth, whether you look at the track record history or just the overall reliability of this dividend, I give it 2 thumbs up. That's the company Power Corp, trades for $29.69. Number 5, Aritzia, ticker ATZ.TO, the women's clothing company that was founded right here in Vancouver. This is one of our fun and growth stocks that we are watching closely on the channel. This is a company that understands their market. They adapt to the needs and preferences of the women's fashion side of things. I expect that to be the case going forward. I think this could be a stock with a lot of potential if you're looking for a little more growth. Today they trade at $23 and they do not pay a dividend. You do see a pretty rich PE ratio, but hey, that's what it is sometimes with a growth company. Number 6 is the company Suncor, ticker SU. And this company breaks our top 10, not because it's a company that we all love. Nobody really loves an oil company the same way you would as Apple or whatever your favorite company is. But the reality is, looking at the share price, as much as some people won't agree with me, I think that this stock is undervalued. It's actually had a nice uptick for any of our Suncor holders over the past little while. Company does a good job at pulling in cash flow. They also operate with a strong balance sheet. And I think this company would more or less benefit from just a sector bounce, a sector rebound, which, hey, in my opinion, very well could be coming. Who knows? But this is, of course, the Calgary, Albertan company, Suncor Energy. Number 7 is the fun one, Restaurant Brands, ticker QSR. I was about to say RBI. This is the company that owns 3 very big food chains in Tim Hortons. They own Burger King and they own Popeyes. And I just found out actually in my local city here, I always say we don't have any Popeyes around. I say that on all the videos that we've covered. We got one right down the block. There's one that opened up by IKEA here in Richmond. So you best believe I'll be checking that out sooner or later. But this company has a good opportunity to expand internationally. I find for some reason I think of Asia when I think internationally, but this applies for Europe as well. But over in Asia, they love it when American companies get over there. Pizza Hut, Burger Kings, etc., etc. They'll eat that stuff up, and there's a lot of room for growth there. Shares today trade at $76 Canadian, and they do pay a nice dividend of 3.61%. Number 8 on the list is our favorite telecom company here in Canada. Ticker is BCE. It's the company Bell Canada. This is a company that as well I have been liking at the moment. I believe I picked up some shares a little while back, just nibbling away at my position. Today we're looking at near a 6% dividend, 5.84, extremely dominant share of the market here in Canada, as we touch on from time to time. In my opinion, it's hard to go wrong with the telecoms here in BC or in Canada. You got 3 major selections, but coming in at number 8, we got Bell Canada. Trades for $57. Coming in at number 9, it is the company Fortis. Again, another stock that would be great for anybody seeking dividends, reliable dividends. If you want that passive income, a little slow for me personally, but this is our utility company based over on the East Coast. About 99% of the company's earnings, what they make is all from regulated utilities. It just goes to show the reliability of a sector like this. The reality is that what they offer is an essential service, and there's going to be support for it. There's going to be people buying it, which is why they're able to just be one of the best dividend payers that you'll come across in Canada. Today, we're looking at a 3.82% yield, and the shares trade at $52. Again, another awesome selection for dividend investors here in Canada. Number 10, let's follow that up with another premier dividend payer, arguably better. You guys can make the judgment on that. It's the company Canadian Utilities, ticker CU. This is the company in Canada with the longest active streak of increasing their dividends, not only paying dividends, but increasing them. And they've been doing it for 48 consecutive years. I know for a fact that that's older than a lot of you guys watching this video because I see the analytics. Let that sink in for a second. Again, regulated utility, 95% of their earnings, or their 2019 adjusted earnings here, regulated, extremely reliable. Today, you're looking at a yield of 5%, 5.3% dividend, trades at $32. This is a stock that I'm actually liking at the moment. Again, not necessarily a stock for me, but if you are looking for dividends, great time to look into it if you're looking to add. Number 11, it's our second telecom play for the list. It's the company TELUS, ticker T.TO. Dividend today is just shy of 5%. Again, another phenomenal option for internet access provider here in Canada. Actually, if you take a look at Morningstar's valuation, they think that the stock's trading at about a 13% discount relative to its fair value. As I say time and time again, I'm not going to get into it between the different telephone providers, network providers. I think you can do well with a whole bunch of them. There's not to say that there's going to be one winner, and TELUS today trading for $25 Canadian could be an awesome option. Number 12 is the company Royal Bank. The ticker is RY, not RBC, as some may think. Logically, I would have said RBC, but RY is the ticker. This is not only the largest bank in Canada, this is the largest company in Canada. Actually, I may stand corrected on that. I believe somebody left a comment correcting me. Them and Shopify are now jostling up for that top spot because of how much it's grown. But nevertheless, this is one of the giants that we have available to invest in Canada. Currently serving over 16 million clients, myself being one of them. I have to say, I've got a little frustrated with RBC from time to time. It's not like I'm going to do anything about it, though. I'm still going to sit here and complain and pay my fees, which is great for the company. They're trading today at a PE of 13.9. Let's call it a 14 PE. Again, very comparable to TD. Another great long-term hold with the dividend just a hair shy of 4%, but a 4% yield nonetheless. Number 13 is another financial play. We talked about them recently. In fact, this was one of the newest additions to my portfolio as a holding. It is the company Equitable Group. Ticker is EQB. And this is the company that's involved with real estate lending, which I know is not an optimal place to be in right now, you'd think. But as well, big area for them is the digital bank, EQ Bank, an alternative style to banking for those people that hate fees, for those of them that hate the big five banks. There's actually 6 banks here in Canada, FYI, if you include National Bank. But EQ is a very, very appealing company in my opinion. They pay a dividend of 1.52%. But they have such a slim payout ratio in the single digits. Recalling to that last video we did, maybe 10% payout ratio, which shows a lot of room to increase that with time. So nevertheless, an exciting stock that's trading just under $100 per share, $97 Canadian. Number 14, we will take off our final telecom play. One of the 3 other big boys. It's the company Rogers Communication. The ticker for this one's a bit unique in its RCI.B.TO. And when we say Rogers, of course, we're talking about brands also like Fido. We're also talking about brands like Chatter. This is yet again another strong option in the Canadian market. And it's a stock that has been slumping over the past little while. It has had a bit of an uptick and maybe a stock to pique some of your interest actually with a 3.82% dividend. Today, the shares trade at $60 Canadian. Now, we're getting on into the final 7 picks of this video. If you have enjoyed, by the way, I would really appreciate it if you drop a quick thumbs up if you have. But number 15 is the company Constellation Software. This is a company I've been watching for a while. The ticker is CSU.TO. And they're actually one of the unique rare tech companies in Canada. You see it's done quite well as with tech companies pretty much all over the world. But this is a company that's business strategy is involved with investing in different verticals of areas. They don't have a specific area they're in, but they'll go for tech companies, software companies in all sorts of areas and invest in them. And clearly they've done a great job of doing so. Shares do trade at a rich price, a steep share price in the fact that they're $1,600 Canadian for a single share. And then you are looking at a PE of 70. But overall, this has been one of the best performing stocks in Canada, in the Canadian market, just FYI. Number 16 is the company BMO, the Bank of Montreal. And this is one of my favorite banks in Canada. And I say that actually not being a customer nor an investor, but just from the feedback, just from the reviews, the types of things you hear, I actually think I do like this bank. And maybe one day it'll be one that I own in my portfolio. Not only do they do the retail banking side of things, but if you're an investor in index funds, in ETFs, you'll be quite familiar with BMO because here in Canada, they're actually one of the very good options. Obviously, a lot of banks, pretty much all the banks will have their own suite of ETFs that people can go out and buy, or investments or exchange traded funds, but BMOs tend to kind of lead the way. And I think for the most part, I'm a big fan of the BMO funds. If any of you guys held BMO funds and ran it by me, I'd say, yeah, that's I for the most part, I like what they have to offer there. Good to have their space, good to be building up a presence in that area. The stock today trades at $96.77 with a PE, again, right in line with the other banks. It as well has picked up since the COVID sell-off, and that would have been a nice dip to buy on. It looks like at $4, with the dividend today at 4.38%. That's BMO. Number 17 is the company Atco Limited. This is actually an alternative way of playing the company Canadian Utilities because this is the parent company. So this company gives you exposure to utilities of all sorts, also construction. If you look, if you're driving down the bridge, you see a construction little box there, you may see the Atco sign. This, of course, is a company in an evergreen industry where year-round there is a demand for their products and services, hence why they're such a great dividend payer. They've paid dividends for 28 years, or they've increased their dividends for, I believe, 28 years off the top of my head. So not as long as Canadian Utilities, one of its subsidiaries, but still 28 years of growth is phenomenal with a 4.39% yield. This is a stock that I'm very much liking at the moment. Seems to be finding a little floor here, a little support area, and it could be a nice one if it bounces back up. Shares trade today at $39 Canadian. On to number 18, it is the company Manulife Financial. The ticker is MFC. And this is a company that is actually involved in the insurance space. So you need insurance, very likely chance you do it through Manulife. If you have any group plans at work, whatever the case is, good chances with Manulife. They also do wealth management in the sense that you can have your portfolio. You could work with an advisor with Manulife. Just a few of the things they do. Very present here in Canada as well as US and actually Asia. Oddly enough, they have a bit of a footstep into Asia. Kind of makes them unique. Overall, this is a company that I think is a good hold for dividends. You see today the 5% yield, and it's just a stock that's been kind of overlooked. The 8.47 PE ratio, not a lot of excitement priced into the stock because it's nothing too exciting going on. But if you want a good dividend payer, Manulife may be a great one to suit the portfolio. Number 19 is our retail play here in Canada. It's the company Canadian Tire, ticker CTC.A. And this is a stock that, if you've been following, has really bounced back after its little sell-off in COVID. Stock has actually nearly doubled if you were getting in at those low prices. This is a company that has just been one of the all-time favorites. It's got a long, rich history here in Canada, and Canadians love the company. They love the stock. They will be supporting the stock going forward, I at least believe. And you are receiving a nice dividend, a very decent one actually at 2.8%. So that's the company Canadian Tire trading at $166 Canadian. Now on to our final stock. Well, our final real stock number 20. It's our bank pick, Nova Scotia, Bank of Nova Scotia. Ticker is BNS, and this is the third largest bank by market cap. It has the strongest international presence in terms of their geography that they cover outside of North America out of all the other major 5 banks. And in fact, to take a look at the PE ratio, we see an 11.4. So the stock hasn't picked up as closely, as fast, or hasn't recovered as much as the others, maybe offering a nice entry point if you're looking for a bank stock here in Canada. They're still down off highs back in 2019, down over 20%. You are pulling in a 5.55% dividend. And today the shares trade at $64. So that is the company Bank of Nova Scotia. And these last 2 stocks, more or less, let's call these a stretch. Let's call these stocks that got thrown in because, again, I was stretching to go find 50 Canadian stocks. It's very, very tough to do because unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of pickings here. In the US, that would be no problem, but we'll throw these fun ones in for you guys. Number 21 is the company Shopify, ticker SHOP, and we just covered the stock a couple videos ago if you want to check that one out, being that it's a stock that I would only consider if it were to sell off substantially, because today we're seeing a ridiculous PE of over 600. The stock has done so well, and they're growing revenues like crazy. The e-commerce platform, of course. But today, the stock trading at $1,300. It's a great company here in Canada, but is it a great stock that I'd be purchasing at the moment? That would be a no for me. On to our last one. You guys won't believe it. It's the company Loop Insights. You heard it here first. It's a penny stock. This is an absolute banger of a pick. I'm just joking. Nobody followed this pick, but the ticker is MTRX. And yeah, you heard me say that. Do not follow this pick, but this is one of the fun stocks that I own. Our students are well aware, and it's done actually very, very well. This is a Vancouver-based AI company. They just posted some news regarding the NCAA and some successful trials that they were doing with some of their technology products. Hopefully some big things coming, but I repeat, throw this stock on the watch list. Do not blindly buy this stock. If you were to blindly buy any stock on this list, don't let it be this one. That's just a fun one to kind of spice it up. But that's it for today's video, guys. If I did leave any of your favorite stocks off this list, I apologize, first of all. I know some people get angry when I don't talk about their favorite stocks. Doesn't mean that there aren't good ones out there, but this is the list that I compiled today. Our power list, our all-star list, or King's list, whatever you call it. The King's list. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give this one a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. That's the best way of showing your support for this channel. If you are looking to learn more about the stock market and you want to learn about our Investing Academy, first link in the description below. We're taking Canadians from start to finish through an online training program. You get to join our community. I say go check it out. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.